Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to build an FPV drone. This build will be same as the previous build only. Yeah, this is not a new one because these are all the parts which has been taken from my old drone because I crashed it and that drone broken into pieces, and then also I have salvaged few of the parts from the previous drone and then I'm adding it to the new frame. Okay, those parts will be this motors, four motors will be the same one, and then instead of using this F4 flight controller, I will be using F7 Mamba F7. Okay, and then instead of using 50 amps ESC, I'm gonna use 60 amps. This is also a Mamba ESC. Okay, and the same video transmitter. Okay, and HGLRC GPS, and then TBS crossfire. Okay, this is an special edition which comes with an immortality antenna. Come on, let's start the build. Okay guys, let's start the build by cleaning the pads on the ESC. To do that one, make use of a good soldering iron, okay, which has a temperature control, so it will be easy for you to pump up the temperature or decrease the temperature when you want. Okay, let's add some flux to the pads. Be generous and add a lot of flux. Okay, so this will help solder to flow easily. Okay, now clean your tip properly. See, it is dirty now. Take some wet sponge and clean your tip. Okay, add some solder to the tip and then wipe it off. Okay, you can make use of steel wool if you need. Okay, so yeah, first what you want to do is just heat up the pad nicely. Okay, so heat up the pad first. You can see the solder is getting melted. Now go on adding the solder. It should look like this shining ball. Okay, same thing to the next one. Add it. See. Okay, same thing to the other pad. Because of this flux, the solder is getting flowed very easily like this. Add solder to all the pads. Okay, see, flux makes your life very much easy. Okay, now on the other side also. See. Add the flux first. Clean your tip. Now melt the flux. Now heat the pad first. Add a little bit of solder to the tip so the heat will be transferred very quicker. See, now the solder pad should absorb the solder very easily. See, and one more thing guys, make use of good solder. Don't use the Chinese branded imported from AliExpress or something like that. use the local solder which is available in your nearby electronic shops. The solder should look like it is melting very easily. Then make sure you have cut your motor wires depending on the length you need it for the wires. Okay, see, I need only this much of length, so I have to cut the wire here. Okay, I have to cut the wire here. Okay, so yeah, let's do this one. The length should be equal to the pads like this. Okay, hey guys, so here you have to cut wires exactly like this. See, the first wire goes to this pad, so it has to be length has to be only this much. Okay, and then second one this much, third one this much, so it will be easy for you to route the wires. Okay, so it looks like this. See, okay, the same thing here also. See, like this. Okay, for these three also. And then how to cut the sleeve of the wire is like this. See, only the small amount of wire has to be exposed like this. See, okay, and then for this one also only the small amount is enough. Make sure you are not pressing too much. You will cut the strings of the wire also, so make sure. Okay, like this. See, it has to go like this. And for this one also do it a little bit. See, this string got cut, so be careful while doing this. If you cut little bit extra, then um, you will be shortening the wire of the motor. Okay, that is not good. Then you have to add an extra patch wire, and then it won't look good. So be careful while doing this one. Now what you have to do is you have to tin the wires. Okay, so I will show you how to tin. Okay, you have to apply you have to turn the wires. Okay, the strings should be attached to each other. They won't look, they should not look like this. See, the strings are like they are not together. Okay, you can cut a little bit here. See, this much wire should be exposed this much only. So then try to rotate the strings like this, and then add paste, means flux, for each of the wires like this. Okay, still some of the strings are visible, so that is fine. Okay, make sure your soldering iron is heat enough. Clean the tip first, and then add a solder to the wire like this. See, the wire should look like this. See, the solder has been added to the wire, so the strings will be in group only. So like this you have to do. For all the wires you have to do like this. Yes. Clean off the tip. Okay, on the other side also we have to do the same thing. Okay, we'll add a flux. Okay, like this. Take a little bit again, and then add this flux. If the flux is excess, don't worry, it helps. Okay, now clean your tip once, make sure it is shining. Now it is not, so add a little bit of solder, wipe it on the wet foam, clean it by using wool, and then go on adding solder to the wire. Okay, yeah, then take a tweezer. Okay, take a tweezer and take a wire, this one. Make sure you are soldering from the left to right. Okay, now heat the pad once and then bring the wire. That's it. See, solder joint should look like this. Same thing, wipe the excess solder, add a little bit more. Okay, take the wire and hold it. Make sure not it is not bridging the other side. Got too much shorter. Still it will work, no issues. See, this is how your solder joints look. It now, yeah, this is how you do the soldering. Okay, for this side also, add a little bit of solder to the tip so that the heat will transfer faster. Okay, so hold the wire tightly. Okay, okay, yeah, this looks fine. um Add a little bit of flux. This wire doesn't look it has added solder, so yeah. Yes, there is a good connection. Same thing for this side. Yes, this side is done. Let's move to the other side. Okay, Clean your tip nicely, make sure it looks shiny, and hold the wire nicely. That's it. This wire already having enough solder, so I don't have to add more. I can also use forceps to solder it, sorry, hands to hold the wire, but it will get hot very fastly, so make sure you are doing it fast. See, this is called as good connection, so yeah, like this. See, take a little solder on the point. This is the best. See, this wire don't have enough solder on the other side, so the strings will create short circuit. Make sure you add enough solder to the wire first, so the strings. See, this is how it looks. Now let's check how the solder joints come along. Yes, this looks fine. See, okay. Now it's time to clean the solder joints. Okay, make use of um, isopropyl alcohol to clean it. Spray good amount of isopropyl alcohol and clean it. Those plugs has to be removed. Now see, the joints looks cleaner now. A little bit isopropyl alcohol on this side. Make sure you clean the flux. Yeah, this is how you do it. Now I'm going to show you how to add XT60 to the 12 gauge silicone wire. Okay, this is the 12 gauge silicone wire. Okay, this wire we are going to use to power this drone. Okay, so we will be using this 6060. I'm reusing the 6060 connector. Okay, so we will solder this here. Okay, and then make sure you are soldering it properly. There will be a plus and a positive and negative marking, you can see here. Okay, make sure you are doing this right way, or else you will burn your house down. Okay, before doing this you have to tin the wires. Okay, tinning means adding a solder to the wire. Okay, so let's do this. See, like this. Make sure the strings are not coming out. Clean the tip before doing this. Okay, you need a lot of heat for this wire, so make sure to increase your temperature. Okay, and then add flux to the wires. Yes, adding flux is the key to create a good solder joint. That's it. See, okay, this is how you tin the wire. So let's add them to the XJ60. Wow, these wires are pretty hot. Now, yeah, this one is the positive. Add flux to the XT60 connector. Add a little bit of solder to this one. Now use forceps, or else you'll burn your hand. On the other side there is no solder. Okay, add a little bit. See, still the flux is melting. Means the wire is still hot. Same thing for the negative also. Negative wire. See, this is how it should look like this. See, this is a good connection. Take a shrink tube and put it like this. Yeah. See, it should go like this. And then you can use a hot air gun, or like you can use a cigarette lighter to burn this. That's it. Now put the cap if you have, or else this also works fine. Yes. See. Now what we are going to do is prepare the wire to add it to the ESC here. Okay. In this board we have to add it, right? So we will prepare these wires. Okay. Yeah. Heat up the soldering iron. Clean it. Make sure it is looking shiny, or like this. Okay. Add a paste, means flux, to the wires on both the side. Make sure you are adding it properly on all the sides. Now heat up the wire and add solder. See, the wire should look like this. Here add generous amount of flux to the pads. Okay. Now heat the pad first. Okay. Negative side will be very difficult because the negative side is also called as ground, which is having the connection all over the board, so it is a little bit difficult. Okay. Heat the negative part first properly. Adding more number of flux is the key. Okay. Now bring the negative wire to the negative side. Make sure the solder is not coming on the other side. See, it was very difficult to solder the negative part, right? See, the positive will be very easy. Hitting and then just bringing the wire. Yes, that's it. Now for these terminals, we'll be adding a capacitors. Okay. See, this is the capacitor which we are going to add. See, the this is 35 volt, 1000 microfarad. Okay. What this will do is it will prevent the voltage spikes. Okay. And then it also helps in avoiding video noises. Okay. So we will add it here. The pin with the negative mark like this is the negative side, and the pin which don't have any marking, that will be a positive side. Okay, this is the negative side, this is the positive. Okay guys, so I have off I have placed the capacitor down like this. See, I have placed capacitor down like this off camera. Okay, and you guys also can do like this. And then and then now we can add solder to the pad. Okay, use a forceps like this. Okay, now make sure you're soldering negative to the negative side and positive to the positive side. Sorry. So now we will add a solder. Okay, now I have added paste. Okay, see, that's it. So you have to hold while doing solder. You have to hold this wire while doing solder, or else the solder will be splattered out. Okay, and then it might go into your eyes also. So take care guys, and you have to wear safety goggles also. See, this is how you add a capacitor. That's it guys, our capacitor has been added. Now let's check how the connection came. Okay, everything is wired correctly or not, we have to test it now. Okay, make sure you use short saver like this. Okay, or else if there is any cross connection, and then if you plug a battery, it will be burned. So to avoid that one, make sure you use short saver. Okay, now I'm going to plug lipo battery. Now I'm going to turn on. This is sound you have to hear. Now I'm going to turn on again. See, all the motors are working fine. Next, let's put video transmitter and then flight controller, and we are good to go. Okay guys, so off camera, the capacitors, I have changed these capacitors. um, Previously it was under this wire, now I have put it over the wire because there was no space for VTX to add, so that's why I did that one. And then here, for the VTX, it was already soldered previously. For the previous, from the previous drone I have used this one. So what you can do is, I will tell you the wire diagram. So the red goes to the positive, black goes to the negative, and yellow will be a receiver. From this one, from the transmitter, yellow will be connected to receiver and the white will be connected to transmitter. Okay, the same thing while adding this to the flight controller, you have to invert it. White goes to RX and yellow goes to TX on the transmitter, sorry, on the flight controller. Okay, so and then yes, I have placed the camera. Okay, and everything is same only. Now we will add a flight controller, so this one. Okay, so yeah, make sure you are placing um, this arrow to the front of the drone. See, there is an arrow mark. This arrow has to be pointing towards the front of the drone. Okay, this is the right way to put it. Okay, then now before that, what I will do is I will route the wire below the flight controller, so it will be easy. Okay, and then now we will make a connection here. I have a diagram of the um, flight controller. So 9 volts, 9 volts is here, I guess, or else we can make use of 9 volts from this pad. Yeah, here only. The ground will be the square part. Okay, let's solder it. First add a little bit of solder to the pad first, here for the positive also. Now I'm going to add a negative wire, the ground wire. So it is little bit uh, long, so we'll reduce the length of the wire a little bit for the positive also. Use it visual. First melt the solder first and then just add a wire. That's it. Negative is soldered, then comes the positive. Make sure you are not bridging anything. This wire is not looking good. Let's add a little bit of solder to the wire. Okay, the wire itself is not good. Add a flux. Okay, now remove the excess wire. Melt the solder on the bowl. Add a little bit of solder. That's it. Yes. And then white goes to the receiver pin here, and the RX and TX. I'm going to use RX and TX pad. Okay. Um, let's add a little flux. Melt it. So white will be TX. White will be the TX from video transmitter that goes to the RX on the transmit controller. So what I will do is, yes, that's it. Same thing for the yellow wire, which is the receiver, which is connected to receiver pad on the video transmitter. Let's do some. I forgot to roll the wire, so we'll do it now like this and this. Okay, now let's rotate the drone so it will be easy for us to hold it like this. Hold the wire very easily, don't pinch it too much or else you will damage the wire. Hold it very easily. Add some solder to the tip. Okay, first heat the pad and add the wire. That's it. The connection is made. And make sure nothing touches this MPU 6000, that is a gyroscope. Okay, as this is how you wire VTX. Okay, let's check whether it powers on or not. So I will make this wire a little bit this side, and then I'll need this much, and this. Okay, something is getting crushed. Okay guys, now we will add a buzzer. Okay, so let me make this wire a little bit shorter. Okay, this becomes more smaller. This is fine. So buzzer pad is this one, and this one. Okay. Okay, I have made a mistake here. See, positive should go here and negative should go there. The wire has to be interchanged. Let's do that one. this is the negative, this is the positive. Okay. Yes. So make sure you are changing the connection. Okay, I made a mistake there. So now the positive goes to this side. So we'll tin the pad first. So this one is positive, this one is negative, and this one is ground. Positive, and then yellow will be the negative for the buzzer. Okay, make sure you're doing it right. This is the negative. Leave gap for the spin, that is a 9 volt. Okay, this is the buzzer wiring. Now we will hook crossfire. Okay, crossfire goes to these pads. Okay, in crossfire also white is a TX from the receiver, like from the crossfire white is a TX, it goes to the TX. Yes, white goes to TX here. Okay, mm, this goes to RX. White goes to then red goes to positive. Oh shit. Hold the wire patiently. Then ground. Yes. See, look at the joint. Real beauty. I might change the VTX wire. The quality of the wire is not good. Okay, so yeah, no compromise, guys. These are not cheap the electronics. Okay, let's turn on the drone. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm adding um, short saver. Added short saver. Plugging in the battery. Turn on. Yes. I think it's working fine. We got a red light in the receiver, and then in VTX, yes, in VTX also we got a green light. Yes, here you can see. Yes, green light you can see. In the receiver, you can see the red light. Yes, this is what I was looking for.